there was this post that somebody posted up recently, and I posted it in our group, and some people were like, well, what's your issue with this? And I was like, you know what? I'll save this because this is one of those nuanced things where I know it ain't really an issue, but like I'm the kind of person that sees things as an issue before they become an issue. Therefore, it's already an issue for me. And I'm over talking, so I'll just read it. I won't say who wrote it, but it says, apparently there was some situation on the internet where people were like buying their sons like a kitchen set or something like that.
Yes.
And people were saying, no, that's gay. We're not doing that or something.
Yes.
And that's where this post stemmed from. So I just want to say before I go forward, I don't have an issue with buying a boy a kitchen set. Do you, Devin?
I too want to go on the record by saying I do not have any issue. Right. I don't have any issue with can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Oh, you said my bad. No, I have no issue. I thought you
was just gonna say yes or no, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I'm this is what I'm saying. I have no issue.
I just thought you were gonna say yes or no.
You thought wrong. So right. I have no issue. I have no issue with young boys having kitchen sets to play with. Bow. There it is.
Wow. Alana. Yeah. Alana has no issue. I'm gonna speak for everybody. Alana has no issue. Shy has no issue. Tobias has no issue. Right? So we on record. Matter of fact, I'll go one step further. I think I had a kitchen set as a little boy.
Mm.
Four boys. All right, but I'll read this. She says,
"What's that supposed to mean? It's for boys." No, I was saying.
I mean, it wasn't pink. It wasn't frilly.
It shouldn't be a gender on it. What's it got? A grill? It got a little fake grill, little spatula.
Yeah. For boys.
Nah, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Can I ask y'all? We about to have some fun. Can I ask y'all some serious questions?
Go ahead.
Why y'all be saying y'all want a man that cooks and cleans, but you won't buy your son a play kitchen and play broom? I can stop right here if y'all want me to.
Are we going to address these individually, or do you want to run?
Go ahead. Go ahead, Dan. This is our new segment. This is our segment. You may have fooled everybody else. Go ahead, Dan. I'll read it again.
Can you read it one more time? Yeah, read it one more time.
Why y'all be saying y'all want a man that cooks and cleans, but you won't buy your son a play kitchen and play broom?
Okay, so most people that I know that cook are not attributing their skills. You know when I really got these skills? I was about 8 years old, and my mom got me a Fisher-Price with some fake eggs and chicken. That's where I really honed my cooking skills. Okay? Nobody learned how to cook with plastic entrees, okay? Let's just make that clear. So that's dumb. Okay? That's dumb. Next point. I'm sorry. Y'all can speak on it. But that's so dumb.
True.
Like, that was when I read that, I was like, wow. Like, I immediately knew, okay, so I'm about to be reading some bull-ish. Okay. So, that's all I got on that one.
You want me to move on?
Can I? Oh, okay. You're going to finish.
Go ahead. Everybody else can talk.
Okay. Okay, so I think that, and I don't feel passionately about this at all, but I will say that I think that you're right. Nobody learned to cook from their fake kitchen set. I think maybe what the person is trying to say is that introducing boys to the fact that they also can exist in the kitchen is to create a comfortability with being in the kitchen, because it's the same thing that little girls experience when they get dolls, when they get kitchen toys. They understand that, oh, this is the space in which I can exist. I can be the person who does the hair and dresses somebody, or I can be the person who cooks and cleans. And so I think that's more so what they're saying. And it may be a stretch in some of these examples, which I can agree to.
It's a very big stretch. It's a very big stretch.
I get that. But if you see it from the point of, it's not to teach them literally to cook, because they learn how to cook in a real kitchen. but it is to create a level of comfortability.
But I have a problem with delivery of points. Like, if you have a point to make, you have to deliver it in a way that makes sense. Don't make your delivery a stretch, because now you're trying extra hard. If your point is valid, then you shouldn't need to stretch to make it. You know what I'm saying? Like, the stretch was unnecessary. You could have said something that made sense, because that point is dumb.
But if it's the point of creating a level of comfortability, then it could still be dumb to you, but it is the point, and then it's not a stretch.
I'm down for creating comfortability and stuff like that. Yeah.
I'm saying if that was just their point, then that was successful.
Yeah.
But I'm saying if you're saying it's for the sake of teaching them to cook, then it's a stretch. But that may not be what their point was. That's what I'm saying.
Because it suggests that how you gonna it suggests that the only way to have a middle-aged man that knows how to cook, like a cooking set was a requirement or something like that at an early childhood age, and that's just ridiculous to me.
Why y'all be saying y'all want a man that cooks and cleans, but you won't buy your son a play kitchen and play broom? My thought is this:
I never had a play broom. My broom's is real.
My broom.
Who has a play broom?
You either going to clean or you not, sir.
Right.
And you're going to clean. So this broom ain't for play. My thing is this: I don't need a play kitchen or a play broom to teach my son that cooking and cleaning ain't a man or a woman's job. It just needs to be done. I don't need that. I don't need to promote that in such a way. You know what I'm saying? So no, I'm going to teach you that you should cook. I'm going to teach you that you should clean. But also, if I choose not to choose to get you a play kitchen and I don't, or a play broom, that don't mean that I don't want you to do those things, or that, you know what I mean? There's other ways to show you that should take place.
I agree with that. I think the only part in it, if there was any part that I felt necessarily passionate about, was the part where she mentioned or he mentioned.
There's gonna be so much more.
You're gonna read it?
I'm gonna read them.
Oh, okay. I'll speak up when you say it.
All right. Why do you want boys to understand girls' bodies and the power of no, but you don't let them play with dolls?
That's dumb.
That's dumb.
Can we just all agree that is?
That part was dumb.
We can honestly just go. I mean,
but please
does anybody want to
continue.
speak on it?
There is a part I agree with. I want you to continue.
I feel like I missed that part in there. That's dumb.
Why y'all be spending all y'all paycheck on Ralph Lauren, Tom Ford, and Michael Kors? It's Ralph Lauren.
It is. It's just...
You thought I was gonna say Ralph Lauren like an N-word? No, sir. Why y'all be spending all y'all paycheck on Ralph Lauren, Tom Ford, and Michael Kors, but won't buy your son a sewing machine?
Yeah. Yo, I'm sorry, man.
Oh no.
This like dad jokes in my opinion. Why y'all be out here Why y'all be out here falling over yourself at Chris Brown's tired dance moves, but your son can't be in dance class?
What the heck?
Because they don't have a crumping class yet. How about that?
Not tired.
They not crumping and clowning they're not crumping and clowning from 3 to 4.
Rise class.
Right.
Come back at 3 for the crumping class.
Oh man.
For the crumping class.
You've been complaining about Chris Brown's.
We got crumping 101.
Chris Brown's moves though.
What'd you say about Darren's dance moves, Tobias?
I said, who's complaining about Chris Brown's moves though? I never even hear this argument.
I mean, after 15 years of them.
That's so stupid.
Yeah.
This is wild.
Why y'all tell y'all sons to stop crying? And this is the one, I'm sure. Why y'all tell your sons to stop crying and be a man, but will beg a 30-year-old man to be more sensitive?
That part I agree with.
All right.
I'll tell you why. Because
let's talk about it.
As a woman who dates men who are 30 and over, I have experienced enough men who, and I'm not going to say all, but it is a theme of being emotionally unavailable. And I think that a lot of things start in our childhood, and it is literally foolish to want your son to grow up to be emotionally available and to be aware and comfortable with showing emotions, but you consistently shut down emotions as a child. Like how, even as a girl, how would you know? There's women who operate, and people will say you operate like a man because she doesn't show emotions. And I think that even women can experience, or girls can experience, families who shut down their emotions consistently and invalidate their emotions. And then as an adult, you only express whatever's been fashioned in you growing up, unless it's been undone and retaught. And most people haven't done the work to undo things and reteach them. And so I think that doesn't make any sense, to consistently shut down a boy's emotions and then expect him at 30 to know how to express them without feeling emasculated or soft.
I agree with that. I have a friend, and the dopest thing I've ever heard, well, not the dopest thing I ever heard somebody say to their son, but one of the dopest things I heard someone say, his son was crying. He's probably like 3, 4. And he was like, son, why are you crying? And he couldn't like get it together. And he told him straight up, he was like, hey, listen, you can cry, but you ain't gonna just be crying because you didn't get your way. You ain't gonna just be crying just to cry. He was like, it's okay to feel things. He said, but are you just crying because we said no to this? And he was like, yeah. He was like, well, then don't cry about that. He says, but it is okay to cry. And I was like, that's pretty dope.
The redirection of emotions is extremely important, but I think it's important for girls and boys. There is no gender for emotions. Nobody is born with less emotions than others just because you're a male. And so to assume that a little boy should cry less than a little girl, it's just a misdirected thought. And I think that it's very fair to tell your son, but also tell your daughter, if you're just crying because you're spoiled in what you want, that's not okay. You need to have clarity about what you're feeling. And I think that training your children to be able to articulate and express what they feel is also an incredibly important tool. But it's incredibly important for boys and girls, because there's a lot of 30-plus-year-old men who can't even tell you why they feel what they feel. And because they can't express it, they don't do anything at all. And then they act in these ways that everybody calls toxic, but really they don't know what else to do. And so I think that that's the part that I agree with, because it's like girls and boys, when it comes to emotions, should be treated the same, because emotions don't have a gender. That's it.
Can you hear me?
Alana.
All right, so I don't disagree with anything that y'all are saying. I agree with it 100%, right? I'm reading what's there, right? So I don't try to be that way. I just am that way. I mean, I read what's there. I'm not saying that y'all haven't, but I know that y'all are lending yourselves to other areas, and I think that's fine, because it implies some other things. But why y'all tell y'all sons to stop crying and be a man, but will beg a 30-year-old man to be more sensitive? So this is layered for me. As a man that has a daughter and would one day want a son, right? At least one. I know that as a father, I have to raise my son differently from my daughter, because she is a girl who I'm raising, or rearing rather, to be a woman as best as I can as a father, right? And not as a woman. And I will be rearing my son to be a man, right? There are instances where I would let my daughter cry about something more or longer than I would allow my son to. Right now, everything that Tobias said, everything that Alana said, redirection, hey, and expressing your emotions. So why are you crying? Let's talk through this. Let's walk through this. What is this? What's going on? Da, 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 da. All of that. For real, because I'm there. I'm there, and I'm cognizant of that, and I move that way. But I'm raising a boy. I'm raising a man. And so there are a lot of instances where this child that I'm raising to, or rearing to be a man, listen, it is not okay for you as a man to always show your emotions, to always, hey man, at the point that I just want to cry, I'm gonna just cry. No, it's not. No, it's not. Like at every I feel like crying, so I'm just about to cry in this meeting because the boss just came down on me. So I'm just gonna cry right here in this meeting because I never said like, yo, now is not the time. And as a man, if you constantly crying all day at the first sign of somebody hurting your feelings, no, that is not manly. Now I'm not going to say that men should never cry. I'm not saying that, but fam, get it together.
But here's the thing.
For real.
It's not grown for a woman to do that either. Because as a woman, if there was a woman I worked with that every time the boss said something she didn't like, she cried, I would look at her and be like, grow up. Because as you mature, your emotion, it's not that you get less emotional, but learn how to, But for instance, say that woman is talking to you and she's getting emotional and she goes, excuse me, and then she runs off and you know that she's about to run off and cry, right? And now if a man did that.
All right.
That's it.
Like, I just can't take what he said. Like, no. Now is not the time to cry, sir. Now is not the time to... There are certain instances where it is not time for you to even show weakness. I'm not saying you can't be weak. I'm not saying that you can't express emotion. I'm saying in certain instances, as a man, you cannot give a person that, that potential power over you in that moment. Oh, this affects him. We gonna play on that. No. I'm thinking in sports.
Like if somebody comes to threaten your house, both of y'all can't run in the house and cry.
Yeah, cry because of it.
Both of y'all can't. Somebody gotta do something. Maybe y'all
hold it together. I need to hold it together for the rest of this family. I remember I was 5 years old and I ain't gonna lie, it affected me. It affected me for a very long time. But as I got older, and you know how, especially in the Black community or any community, like somebody is harsh. Somebody in the family is harsh sometimes because they don't even know how to express it, right? They know what they mean, and they expect you to get what they mean, right? And there's damage that comes with that. But sometimes you do understand what they were trying to do, right?
Right.
So my grandmother had just passed. And I'm 5. And my uncle comes over to me and he goes, why are you crying? I said, because Nana B died. And he was like, you better stop crying. He was like, you better stop crying and be a man for your mother and your sister. And I walked over to my mom and I kept crying some more. Like, what are you talking about? But as I got older, I understood what he was trying to do. I know he wasn't expecting me to be able to do that at 5 years old. But at 12 when my uncle passes, but at 16 when my grandfather passes, but at, or when he passes, at 19 when my grandfather passes. Nah, these women are super affected by it and they need somebody there to, as much as you are affected by it, you gotta hold it together. Because you are a man. And because you need to give them space to be able to cry and be a comfort and all of that type of stuff for them. It ain't time for you to be showing emotion.
I'm just having this visual of me crying hysterically about something and then a man literally standing there crying hysterically with me.
Exactly.
And those moments.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Wait. Those moments happen, and in some instances, those moments are uncontrollable and probably beautiful in their own right. But
when y'all get married,
I don't mind.
I don't mind get married. You could lose a child, and you could both be crying hysterically. I'm saying there's but that's okay. But what I'm saying is, I'm just because we're talking about the loss of somebody's life.
Oh yeah.
So I don't think I'd be crying hysterically at my wedding. That's hysterically. But what I'm saying is, I don't have a child to raise, and I think that obviously there are differences, and I agree in what you're saying.
I'm not using that as like as like this trump card. Like, yo, I got a child and y'all don't. That's not what I mean by that.
No, I get that, but I think I'm just advocating as well consistently for, even if he is at this moment, we're at the funeral or we're at the aftermath of the funeral and you're holding it together to keep us because we can't control it. What space does he have to eventually let go?
And I agree with that, right? I agree with that. As a black man, these past 3 years, I had this thought of like, when does the black man specifically have a place to express emotion?
When can he cry?
When can he cry? Right?
That's what I'm talking about.
And I agree with that 1,000%. But I'm saying I'm saying sometimes the young boy needs to be told, not right now, not here. Get yourself together.
What I will say is what's important is that your uncle
and people often make it so that there's like, I don't know why there's so many extremes now. Like,
did he not hear me talking?
No, there was a.
I didn't know. I literally did. My bad.
There was a lag on
my bad. Nah, go ahead. Nah, my mic's been doing this thing.
But what's important is that your uncle. What's important is that your uncle explained to you also in a way, because when my mom passed, all I heard was stop crying. And so then essentially what happened was I formed this like at funerals to this day, if we go to a funeral, my cousin will be like, don't sit by Tobias because he'll be cracking jokes the whole time. And I could be sad, but it's just like, it wasn't like, hey, stop crying and be supportive. It would just stop crying. And then I just defaulted to, okay, funny? I don't know. And so then it's important that your uncle kind of, not only kind of directed what should happen too, in a sense.
I agree.
Now, I don't think it's the fault of who told you not to cry that you cut up at funerals. Now, I think that's you just doing wrong, and you know that's wrong, so you don't need to be cutting up at nobody's funeral.
Definitely. That is the default. I am the laugh from keep from crying king. Absolutely.
Yeah, and sometimes it genuinely not. I don't have a dark sense of humor, but sometimes genuinely funny stuff happens.
At funerals,
funerals are hilarious.
Yeah.
Watching some people cry is hilarious. I'm sorry, that might have been really dark, but it's the truth.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, one more song, jeez.
The singing will do it.
Y'all spend so much energy making sure your sons don't grow up gay, whatever that means. But let me explain to you what that means.
Right.
Let me explain to you what it means. I spend so much energy making sure your sons don't grow up gay, whatever that means, versus raising a cultured, tolerant, and respectful individual. Hashtag, but I don't know what I'm talking about. And to that I said, I'm glad they don't know what they talk about. I'm glad they know that they don't know what they talk about.
That's right.
My God.
I'm going to spend energy making sure.
Keep gonna get canceled.
I'm not on to be canceled. I gotta be on to be canceled.
As soon as you get on, they gonna pull us up.
Fam, I meant to say this. I was like, man, we gotta get here. We gotta get here. There is so much. There's such a blessing in being underground.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine with that. That's why we going to Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine with being underground. I don't want it because I can't say what needs to be said or what I feel needs to be said. I'm going to spend time with my daughter and my son to give them the tools that they need. And if they decide to make that decision, that's the decision that they made. But like, I'm going to give him all the tools and expose him to certain things. Because some people, and I can attest to this just from watching certain family members, that's all that you were given. That's all that was presented to you. You're around women all day. What is you going to pick up? You're not around no men. Sad to say, you don't know who your dad is. And you're around women all day. What is up? I'm not, and so some people are born that way, and I believe that. But also some people are like, well, I'm confused. Okay, well, let's figure out. Some people are confused because they really are confused. I might feel one way, but everything else is telling me another thing. So, no, I'm going to spend time with my child and make sure that everything is what it's supposed to be.
I thought he was gonna say something. I'm not gonna say what I thought.
I don't know what you thought I was gonna say, but
I'm not gonna say it. I might send it in a text. I'm still scared they're gonna pull up that sweet potato episode and I'm gonna get canceled.
oh man, that was so funny, bro.